stand-up, I've been able to travel the whole neighborhood, and I've been loving learning how to do it and everything. Like, everyone has their different style. I never like sit down and write stuff. If I think of something funny, I'll just immediately text myself a few key words so I don't forget. Sometimes I'll accidentally text somebody else, and then that is the most embarrassing thing ever, knowing that my Aunt Kathy's just staring at her phone like, "Black people trampoline." What? And we don't text very often, so now our thread looks insane. It's like, "Will I see you at Thanksgiving? Black people trampoline." That's no reason to not come. I've lived here in Toledo about half my life now, and I do think Toledo's great, I do, but I will say I was at a concert here in Toledo once, and the lead singer accidentally called us the wrong city, and we were fine with it. We preferred it, because for a brief moment we all thought we were in Des Moines. It kind of ruined concerts for me, because now whenever a band is like, "What up, Toledo?" I'm like, "Oh, don't call us that." But Toledo's cool. We have some cool stuff. We have a great zoo. I feel like we're always bragging about our zoo, but that's probably your first sign you may not have the best people, is when you're always like, "Dude, you got to see our animals." And they're like, "I will, but aren't your people like nationally ranked for crime, obesity, depression?" "Oh, for sure, yeah." But you know who's not? Our elephant. Yeah, he's incredible. I'll have to introduce you, man. He's running for mayor. I'm married, and I've got kids. My daughter's in 6th grade, my son is in 2nd grade, and a big part of raising kids is tricking them into doing what you want, which is why when my daughter started losing her teeth, I was like, man, I shouldn't have told her that was going to happen. Because if your teeth start falling out and you don't know that's a thing, I can work with that. "Daddy, why did my tooth fall out?" "Probably because you don't listen." Yeah, all those times you ignored Mommy and Daddy, what did you think would happen? "I don't want them to fall out." "Then maybe don't touch my drum set." Every freaking day, dude. "Am I gonna lose more?" "Not if you clean out the garage." That's how it works. I mean, you see how much I do around here. You ever see a tooth fall out of my head? No? Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know how long I could keep that going, because she is my precious little girl, you know. "Daddy, do they grow back?" All right, here's the deal. No. This is what you look like now, just a mess. So let's just try not to lose any more, okay? So why don't you get going on the garage, and I'll see you at dinner. Use the shop vac. I am married. I've been married for 13 years, and my wife is perfect. Her words. She's better than me at most things. She's smarter than me, so like I lose every single fight. It's to the point where like I'll be playing a game with my kids, and they're like, "Dad, why don't you ever let us win stuff?" I'm like, "Because I need it more, okay?" Ever see me win anything in this house? And they're like, that's a good point, Dad. All right, we can keep arm wrestling. I'm like, "You're damn right, we can keep arm wrestling." Yes, you are. But I appreciate her, man. She does it all. She's very healthy. She keeps me and the kids healthy. But I do get nervous that sometimes she's a little too health conscious, because like where she'll just view everything through that lens. You know, like we'll hear about someone dying, and she's just like, "That's what happens when you eat dairy." I'm like, "Well, the doctors seem to think it was all the bullets." Yeah, they found way more bullets than ice cream, and so they're leaning bullets on this one. But I'll pitch them your theory, and we'll see. I'm a high school math teacher, and the people that wooed are also math teachers, I think. Cool. But yeah, I'm a high school math teacher. I love my job. I really don't know why I became a teacher. Honestly, it might be because when I was in school, I didn't get as popular as I would have liked. So I was like, all right, I'll just try again. And not gonna lie, second time around, crushing it. Yeah, the whole school knows me, and I'm friends with a ton of seniors, so it's pretty sick. Teaching math can be hard. My students don't always understand what I'm trying to say to them, but I don't always understand what they're trying to say to me. Miscommunication goes both ways. Like, a few years ago, the first time a kid ever told me they were non-binary, I was just like, oh, well then you're going to love this class. We barely use computers. Yeah, I'm like the most non-binary teacher you'll have, so you're good, bro, you're good. If you didn't get that joke, don't feel bad. I don't really get it either. But I liked high school. I might have been a little wild at some points. Like my friends and I started drinking in 9th grade. I'm pretty sure it's because our health teacher messed up. He brought in these goggles that simulate what it's like to be drunk to scare us, and we tried them on and stumbled around the room and had so much fun. The most fun ever. So when he was like, that's what it's like when you drink, we're like, we gotta start drinking. Oh my God, when's the last time we were this happy? So shortly after that, we all got drunk for the first time, and then that became the new bar for fun. We never jumped on a trampoline again. Just locked in. Yeah, some people laugh at that joke. We'll cut it. But I'll never forget that lesson totally backfiring on our teacher. By the end of class, he was just so defeated. Like, have a good weekend. Oh, we will. Yeah. It's gonna be unreal. Next week we'll be discussing sexual intercourse, and we're like, oh, what's he bringing in for that? Dude, what are those goggles? Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm gonna say it. I love school. I love school. Big part of my job is keeping kids off their phones. It's crazy that kids are growing up with phones now. Like, I remember when my dad first got an iPhone years ago, I had to explain a lot of things to him. I had to teach him what the word butt dial meant. I was like, yeah, it says if you sat on your phone, get it, butt dial? And he's like, oh, okay. So a couple months later, he butt dials me, and I'm like, hello? So I text him like, hey, did you mean to call? And I swear to you, he goes, my bad, booty call. And I was just like, Dad, we don't even hug. So I'm just not ready. Yeah, I'm really grateful to have my job. I hate job hunting, especially back when I was fresh out of college and knew nothing about interviewing. In my first interview ever for a teaching position, I'm sitting down with this principal, and right off the bat, he asked me where I went to college, but he didn't word it like that. He just goes, tell me, Ed, what's your alma mater? And I go, probably live every day like it's your last. And he got quiet for a while. I was like, I'm killing it. This dude's at a loss for words because I just spoke from the heart. This is great. And then after like a weird amount of silence, he told me alma mater means college, and I corrected myself, and I was embarrassed. The rest of the interview went fine. I think I was trying a little too hard to make up for my blunder. You know, kept being like, so I got really good grades in alma mater. That's what I call it too. Yeah, how fun was alma mater, right? Like the football games, alma mater, just always yelling that. By the end of the interview, I had relaxed a bunch and opened up. And because he got to know me so well, he knew to go with somebody else. And so it was cool that I was able to help him make that decision. I eventually got my first teaching job. I was at an inner city charter school. A lot of the kids went there because they had been kicked out of Toledo Public, so it was tough. I did a terrible job. The hardest part was about halfway through that school year, a new student transferred in from our school's biggest rival prison. And the worst part was I was only 3 years older than him. He was 22. He was 19 and built. I was just 22, still on my journey to this body. This beautiful little boy. So when he walked in that first day, we all just stared at him. The kids were like, is he in charge now? I was like, not technically, but we're probably going to have to do what he says. I tried to get to know him. I did. We did have some common ground. He was in a gang, and I played guitar at church. It was uncanny that it worked out like that, but I'll admit I didn't push him as hard as I should have. Like I figured if I got on him about his homework, he would make me do it. Then I have to go home every day. My wife's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "There's this bigger kid at school, and I don't want to talk about it." I'm gonna hit you guys with a hot take. I fully support participation trophies. Let kids feel like winners, even if they're losers. But then kids are gonna grow up soft. I get that. I do, but I also get that Hitler's views were pretty normal till that art school told him no. So maybe we take a lesson from history and start coddling, Yeah, but if kids aren't good at something, they need to just deal with it. Well, I just watched you take 9 strokes and write down 6. So maybe we're all lying to ourselves, Doug. But I don't know, maybe it's the teacher in me, but whenever I hear someone say, like, if I could time travel, I'd go back and kill baby Hitler. I'm like, I'd go back and help him get into that school. All right, just maybe not. All right. I think that tonight will be a great night to try new stuff when I'm headlining. But let's see. I'm going to end with a personal story, the most personal story that I have. About a year ago, a student of mine needed a kidney, and I actually donated my kidney to him. It was pretty crazy, and yeah.
Hell yeah.
And this is why, right here is why. Yeah, and that is true. That would be a wild thing to make up for comedy. But he was a freshman in my geometry class, and it really helped that he was a great student and a really nice kid. I don't know if I would have done it for like some lazy jerk, Even if he asked me straight up, I'd be like, a fun fact about me is I don't have kidneys. Yeah, never have. Only reason I'm alive is because I have 3 livers, so it balances. But yeah, what's crazy is I didn't even know he needed a kidney. Like, this kid never talked about it, which makes him a lot cooler than me. Because if I'm 15 years old and there's a chance I'm going to die, you better believe I am telling every girl. I'm turning every interaction into a walk to remember. Yeah, hey Eddie, can I sit next to you? On one condition, you have to promise not to fall in love with me. Okay, I won't. So I found out he needed a kidney because it was all over the news. It was a beautiful story. His local teen won't stop whining about disease or something. And I called right away. I'm like, I'll do whatever it takes to shut this kid up. And they're like, thank you. And he won't leave the studio. But no, it was a lot heavier than that. It was heartbreaking. His parents were on the news, and they were crying, and they were asking people to go get tested to see if they're a match for their son. It was heartbreaking, and I was like, man, I got to at least go get tested, and because it's not just the blood type. There's all these tests you have to pass in order to donate your kidney. So I'm like, all right, the odds are I'm not going to be a match. So let me get tested and clear my conscience. At least I can say I tried. And they're like, you're a match. I'm like, what now? Oh, cool. All right. And remind me, he needs a kidney or he just wants one? It's not like a collector. Cool. So then it was last July where we both had our surgeries, and he's got my kidney now. He's doing great. I die next week, but he's doing awesome. Yeah, that's why Dave let me headline. He knew how much it makes him. No, we can't end there. That's insane. But yeah, he's doing well, and this kidney thing is like probably the coolest thing I'll ever be a part of. And this kid, like, I don't expect anything from this kid, but like at the same time, it will be weird if, like, his senior year, I see him quoted in the yearbook, like, my favorite teacher was Mr. Peterson, because one time he gave me Doritos. Oh, did he? Did he give you Doritos? What a selfless act. Cool Ranch, wow. You had him sophomore year? That's great. You almost didn't have a sophomore year. You remember that? I remember. I also remember a lot of complications during my surgery. It got pretty scary, but no, Mr. Peterson's the real hero. Makes sense why he would get the shout out. Yeah. So I bet that bag had a bunch of Doritos, and I only gave you 1 kidney, so it's hard to beat those numbers. But hey guys, that is my time. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all.